lovelies, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about my 15 most anticipated releases for this upcoming spring. So I decided to sit down with my little Polyjuice Potion mug and my tea. Been really into tea again lately. Right now I am obsessed with orange Pico tea, just with Splenda. So I just wanted to sit and have a fun little chat about some books that I'm really excited that are coming out, and I'm going to do from March 15th to about the end of June, because I guess it's technically the months of spring and there are some really exciting books coming out. There are a lot of good romances, obviously. Spring and summer are the time for romances, so a lot of good stuff is coming out. So normally at the beginning of each month and the week before, I normally check out Barnes & Noble. If you go all the way to the bottom of their page, they have a coming soon tab, and then you can go week by week and it'll show you the books that are coming out that week. The first book is Pucking Wild, which is the second book in Pucking Around. It is already out, but I think the matching cover to Pucking Around is coming out, and I'm really excited about this. I already pre-ordered it on Amazon, and it is coming out March 26th. It says, "My name is Tess Owens. My life is officially on fire. I never thought dancing at my best friend Rachel's wedding would be the match to ignite the flame. But with one lingering touch, one longing look, and one sneaky caterer with a camera phone, my almost ex-husband is ready to torch me professionally and personally. So I do what I do best, run. Straight into Rachel's arms in Florida, where she's the team doc for the NHL's Jacksonville Rays. Star forward Ryan Langley is out with an injury and in need of a place to rehab. I get the surprise of my life when he shows up at my door declaring himself my new roommate. I came here with 6 weeks to launch a new business and fight for my freedom. Now I have to fight my mutual attraction to this charming all-American sweetheart too. Did I mention Ryan is 10 years younger than I? He doesn't need my drama. But it's getting harder to deny the way he makes me feel. Wild, fun, free. I want to believe that our pasts don't define us forever, but first I have to face my fears. Because with one innocent dance, it was Ryan who helped me start this fire. What if together we're meant to burn?" I'm so excited because I love Tess and Pucking Around. She is Rachel's best friend and she's plus size representation, so it's going to be adorable. And Ryan is literally like a puppy dog golden retriever, and I like that it's the reverse age gap. So I'm very, very excited. I am definitely in my hockey romance era right now, so I'm obsessed. Coming out on April 2nd is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I still have yet to read a book by her. I don't even own one, so I think I'm gonna go and buy this when it comes out because it sounds amazing and the cover is just gorgeous. I love the colors. It says, "Justin has a curse, and thanks to a Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. When a woman slides into his DMs with the same problem, they come up with a plan. They'll date each other and break up. Their curses will cancel each other's out, and they'll both go on to find the love of their lives. It's a bonkers idea, and it might just work." Emma hadn't planned that her next assignment as a traveling nurse would be in Minnesota, but she and her best friend agree that dating Justin is too good of an opportunity to pass up, especially when they get to rent an adorable cottage on a private island on Lake Minnetonka. It's supposed to be a quick fling just for the summer. But when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected, including catching real feelings for each other. What if this time fate has actually brought the perfect pair together? That just sounds like so much fun. I love the idea of 2 people coming together in a really weird, quirky way. And I also really love that it's taking place over the summer. I think that'll be a really great read for, you know, early spring, summer. I like that they both think that they have a curse. And then I also like that there is some family drama involved, because then we get to see how they really act together, how they're gonna stand up and comfort each other in those times of like hard family drama. Also on April 2nd is the reappearance of Rachel Price, and it's actually really funny because in Pucking Around her name is Rachel Price and this is by Holly Jackson, so it's like a thriller, and her name is also Rachel Price, so that's really funny. This is by the same author that did 5 Survive, as well as A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I finished that entire trilogy, and I was obsessed with that trilogy. I audiobooked all of them, and they were so fast-paced and wild. Like, they were just such a wild ride. I never knew what was coming, and I feel like the suspense was so good, and that the story wasn't like weird and quirky like thrillers can normally end. And I also believe that there's I want to say a TV show adaptation coming out for A Good Girl's Guide to Murder soon. But this one is The Reappearance of Rachel Price, and it says, lights, cameras, lies. 18-year-old Belle has lived her whole life in the shadow of her mom's mysterious disappearance. 16 years ago, Rachel Price vanished, and young Belle was the only witness, but she has no memory of it. Rachel is gone, long presumed dead, and Belle wishes everyone would just move on. But the case is dragged up from the past when the Price family agree to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end, for life to go back to normal, and then the impossible happens. Rachel Price reappears, and life will never be normal again. Rachel has an unbelievable story about what happened to her. Unbelievable because Belle isn't sure if it's real. If Rachel is lying, then where has she been all this time? And could she be dangerous? With the cameras still rolling, Belle must uncover the truth about her mother and find out why Rachel Price really came back from the dead. That sounds so good. It sounds like equal parts murder mystery, equal parts family drama. And I'm really excited because, again, I really love Holly Jackson's writing. I love the pace of her books. So I'm really excited to see where she goes with this one and what the mother's excuses are. April 2nd is a great day to get books. The rule book is also coming out then that same day by Sarah Adams. I believe I have Practice Makes Perfect by her, which I believe goes with When in Rome. But I know this is her like sports series. It's a companion novel to The Cheat Sheet, which I haven't read, but I do plan on reading because I am again in my sports era. So I really need to read that, and I really need to read her other two. This one says, Nora Mackenzie's entire career lies in the hands of famous NFL tight end Derek Pender, who also happens to be her extremely hot college ex-boyfriend. Nora didn't end things as gracefully as she could have back then, and now it's come back to haunt her. Derek is her first client as an official full-time sports agent, and he's holding a grudge. Derek has set his sights on a little friendly revenge. If Nora Mackenzie, the first girl to ever break his heart, wants to be his agent, oh, he'll let her be his agent. The plan is simple. Make Nora's life absolutely miserable. But if Derek knows anything about the woman he once loved, she won't quit easily. Instead of giving in, Nora starts a scheme of her own. But then a wild night in Vegas leads to Nora and Derek in bed the next morning married. With their rule book out the window, could this new relationship be the thing to save their careers or the thing to spark the romance of a lifetime? This one again sounds so cute. I always love when there's like the accidental slip up. Like they're gonna just wake up married in bed, and like I think that's hysterical because like they're gonna have to backtrack and figure out what happened. But then I also love that like they're already married, so like they're gonna have a motive to try to work things out, so that normally like gets the relationship going. I haven't read a football romance yet, so I'm excited. I don't like love football that much, but I think it's gonna be fun. Coming out on April 9th is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Again, I haven't read anything by her, but I do have Ninth House on my TBR for March, so we'll see if I actually get to that one. But this is supposed to be a very anticipated book by like a lot of people, and I've heard it's really, really good from what people have been saying already, you know, people reading ARCs and everything. It says, in a shabby house on a shabby street in the new capital of Madrid, Lucia Cotaro uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil as a scullion. But when her scheming mistress discovers a lump of a servant cowering in the kitchen is actually hiding a talent for little miracles, she demands Lucia use those gifts to improve the family's social position. What begins as a simple amusement for the nobility takes a perilous turn when Lucia garners the notice of Antonio Perez, the disgraced secretary to Spain's king. Still reeling from the defeat of his armada, the king is desperate for any advantage in the war against England's heretic queen, and Perez will stop at nothing to regain the king's favor. Determined to seize this one chance to better her fortunes, Lucia plunges into a world of seers and alchemists, holy men and hucksters, where the lines between magic, science, and fraud are never certain. But as her notoriety grows, so does the danger that her Jewish blood will doom her to the Inquisition's wrath. She will have to use every bit of her wit and will to survive, even if that means enlisting the help of Guillen Santangel, an embittered immortal familiar whose own secret could prove deadly for them both. It sounds so good. I love that it's set in Spain. We're gonna get like a whole new experience. I feel like not a lot of things are set in Spain or Spanish countries often, so we're gonna get a whole beautiful world building. This sounds like there's going to be a lot of magic, political intrigue, and a lot of moral directioning that's gonna go on, so I'm very excited, and this cover is just gorgeous. I cannot get over it. Also coming April 9th is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Now, I own some of her other cowboy romances, but I will be buying this one. I have not gotten to her other ones yet, just because I don't know why, honestly. I really need to get to them because I know I'll love them. It says, she's been driving him wild for years. The good kind of wild, the bad kind of wild. But mostly the kind of wild that comes with wanting your best friend's little sister and knowing you can't have her. Forbes may have labeled Ford Grant the world's hottest billionaire, but all he cares about is escaping the press and opening a recording studio in gorgeous small town Rose Hill. Something that comes to a screeching halt when he ends up face to face with a young girl who claims he's her biological father. Now, he spends his days balancing business with parenting a sullen 12-year-old, all while trying desperately to keep his hands the hell off his best friend's sister, Rosie Belmont. After living in the city, Rosie came blasting back into town like a storm. Beautiful, messy, and chaotic. And one wide-eyed, desperate plea for a job is all it takes for Ford to hire her. He vows to keep her at arm's length, tries to stick to scowls and grumpy one-liners. But with her, verbal sparring is a type of foreplay, friction that soon turns to blistering heat. Ford knows damn well he shouldn't cross this line, but shouldn't and can't are two very different things. And the only thing he truly can't do is resist her. That sounds so good. I honestly thought it was going to be another cowboy romance TBH, but it sounds like it's billionaire and then best friend's sister, so that's going to be super exciting. And then the fact that he has a daughter that just like comes into his life, I feel like that's going to be awesome. And I love that the main character is described as beautiful, messy, and chaotic, because I'm definitely messy and chaotic, so I already know I'm going to relate to her. And I love that he is going to be very grumpy, and I love that it already says that they're going to have very good banter, so I'm excited for that. Also coming April 9th is The Hemlock Queen by Hannah Witten. I have The Foxglove King by her, and she also wrote For the Wolf and For the Throne, I believe. So this says it's obviously the second installment it's the second installment to The Foxglove King. So it says, corrupt King Alston is dead, Prince Bastian has seized the throne and raised Lore, a necromancer and former smuggler, to his right-hand side. Together they plan to cut out the rot from the heart of the royal court and help the people of Delaire. But not everyone is happy with the changes. The nobles are sowing dissent, the Kirithian Empire is beating down their door, and Lore's old allies are pulling away. Even Prince Bastian has changed. No longer the hopeful, rakish, charismatic man Lore knows and loves. Instead, he's become reckless, domineering, and cold. And something has been whispering in her ear, a voice dark and haunting, that's telling her there's more to the story than she knows, and more to her power than she can even imagine. A truth buried deep that could change everything. With Bastian's coronation fast approaching, and enemies whispering on all sides, Lore must figure out how to protect herself, her prince, and her country before they all come crumbling down, and whatever dark power has been creeping through the catacombs is unleashed. That sounds so amazing. These covers are gorgeous. I need to read the first one, and everyone has said it's really, really good, so I'm very excited. I like that it's gothic and dark, and there's necromancy and again political intrigue and everything like that, so it's definitely right up my alley. Then on April 16th we have Taming VII, and that is book number 5 in the Boys of Tommen series. I just started binding 13. I think I'm planning on reading it this month, if not next month then, so very soon. It says she's the quintessential sunshine girl, he's the lovable class clown, but storm clouds are rolling in and this Tommen boy is about to get serious. Tommen's cheekiest lad, Gerard Gibson, has always been a comedian, but most people don't see what lurks beneath the surface. He's haunted by events of the past, and he uses humor to cope, hiding his true self from the world. Claire Biggs, the epitome of sunshine, has always loved Gibbsy, her brother's friend and her favorite neighbor. She's always seen a side to him that no one else seems to notice. She becomes determined to tame her wild-at-heart childhood best friend. When lines are crossed, it becomes unclear whether Gibbsy and Claire's friendship will survive. Will it blossom into something more, or will they lose themselves in the wild? I'm very excited because I love like a good, like, not really grumpy sunshine, but she's sunshine, he's a little goofy, and I love that it's childhood best friends, and I also love that it's kind of like them growing up to kind of discover who they are and who they are together. One that I've really been looking forward to that's also coming out on April 16th is Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings. I follow her on Instagram, and this cover is just so gorgeous, and I believe it is a sapphic romance, and I always love one of those. It says a sexy sapphic opposites attract romance. Ooh, there's a neurodivergent woman, a meet cute trope, a farm setting, and real-world implications. Oh, I love a farm setting. I live like in the middle of the woods and I grew up around farms, so I always love that. And I'm neurodivergent, so I always love neurodivergent representation in books as well. It says, winning the lottery has ruined Opal Devlin's life. After quitting her dead-end job where she'd earned minimum wage and even less respect, she's bombarded by people knocking at her door for a handout the second they found out her bank account was overflowing with cash. And Opal can't seem to stop saying yes. With her tender heart thoroughly abused, Opal decides to protect herself by any means necessary, which to her translates to putting almost all her new money to buying a failing flower farm in Asheville, North Carolina, to let the flowers live out their plant destiny while she uses the cabin on the property to start her painting business. But her plans for isolation and self-preservation go hopelessly awry when an angry, albeit gorgeous, Pepper Bowden is waiting for her at her new farm. Pepper states she's the rightful owner of Thistle and Bloom Farms and isn't moving out. The unlikely pair strike up an agreement of cohabitation and butt heads at every turn. Can these opposites both live out their dreams and plant roots? Or will their combustible arguing and growing attraction burn the whole place down? I love that it's a flower farm. That's so sweet. And the cover's so beautiful. And I'm really excited for the opposites to attract. I think it's going to be like a grumpy sunshine. So another one that sounds really intriguing is by Lucy Score, and it is The Corpse in the Closet. That's also coming out April 16th. This is a Riley Thorne novel, so I believe it's also going with The Dead Guy Next Door, which these are all on Kindle Unlimited. Well, not this one yet, but the Dead Guy Next Door is on Kindle Unlimited. I'm planning on reading that because it just sounds really cool. I love like a little murder mystery and romance when they're all mixed together. And there's a cat on the cover, so how much more cute can you get? As first, her disapproving grandmother arrives determined to make Riley take her powers seriously or face the wrath of the guild. Then there's a homicide detective who needs her help figuring out who murdered the well-dressed corpse in the walk-in closet. Nick's got his own hands full with a tricky missing persons case and his parents who want to know why he didn't tell them about his live-in girlfriend. Then there's the fact that he's still the tiniest bit stressed about Riley almost getting murdered earlier that summer. The last thing he wants is her getting involved in another investigation. Things go from bad to worse when the body count starts stacking up. The meet the parents' dinner goes horribly wrong, and their elderly roommate is up to no good, dressed like a mime. To top it off, Riley is forced to return to Channel 50 on official police business to question her spray-tanned news anchor ex-husband and his new weather girl fiancé. The trouble comes to a head when Riley receives a warning from the killer. Back off or she's next. Someone has to solve these murders before she becomes the next corpse. I'm really excited because I didn't know this was going to be the same characters as the Dead Guy Next Door. So I'm really excited, and I've heard that Lucy Score is very good, and I like that it's a detective and that Riley is a psychic, so I'm really excited for that. That sounds like something I'd be really into. I actually forgot to talk about this one, but The Veiled Kingdom is coming out on March 19th by Holly Renee, and I am actually meeting Holly Renee in August at Sinners and Stardust, which is a book convention that I'm going to in Boston. This cover is gorgeous. The Barnes & Noble edition is going to be pink, and it has like beautiful end paper art, and it's literally so gorgeous. I cannot wait for this one. I'm literally gonna go to the bookstore that day and go get it. It says, fleeing my father's cruelty, the wicked king who robbed me of a future, I faced death in the streets, caught between a rebellion and a tyrant's reign. Captured by those sworn to kill me, the rebels remain blind to my true identity, the missing daughter of the despised king. Faced with an impossible choice, I stand before them, join the rebels or face their blades. Yet Dacker, the son of the ruthless rebellion commander, becomes torn between suspicion and desire that mirrors my own. He allows no one to touch me, tries to protect me, yet threatens me at every turn. As secrets are weaved beyond our hidden realm, a fierce battle unfolds within me. As I get closer to the rebels and their cause, my loyalty to my kingdom clashes with my undeniable devotion to Dacker and the burning connection between us. In a world where love and hate are two edges of the same blade, I find myself caught in a delicate dance between forbidden desire and my looming destiny. Oh, we're gonna get enemies to lovers, touch her and die. Oh, I always love rebellion, and you know, she's like a secret princess, and it's going to be romantasy, which I absolutely love. I'm literally so excited. I cannot wait for a bright pink romantasy book. Coming out on May 14th is The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy, and it's number 2 in the Campus Diaries. I told him I had a girlfriend. I start to laugh. This is the greatest day of my life. Oh, it gets better, Dixon. I told him it was you. Diana Dixon has a lot going on this summer. She's rehearsing for a ballroom dance competition, juggling 2 jobs, and dealing with an ex-boyfriend who can't take the hint and it's over. Yet despite all that, she still has plenty of time and energy to tell Shane Lindley to screw off. Shane just moved into her apartment building and seems dedicated to sleeping his way through her entire cheerleading squad. Sure, he's a tall, gorgeous hockey player, but he's messing with her turf. This calls for some ground rules. No parties in her apartment, leave her teammates alone, and most importantly, leave her alone. What Diana doesn't realize is that Shane's sick of hookups and tired of being on the rebound after his long-term girlfriend called it quits. He wants a relationship, and when his ex comes back into the picture, he pretends he has one to make her jealous. And who better to play his girlfriend role than his sassy new neighbor? Despite Diana's reluctance to break her rule, a fake relationship is the perfect solution for her own ex issues, and soon she can't deny something is sizzling between her and Shane. Something hot and completely unexpected, and it might just be getting a little too real. So I actually just bought The Deal by Elle Kennedy because, again, I am deep in my hockey romance phase right now, and I'm excited because this is another one of her universes that is, you know, like hockey players. And she sounds super sassy, which I love, and I like that it is going to be the fake dating trope to make exes jealous. And the cover's so cute. I like that, you know, she's stepping away from the really horrible, like, regular real people on the covers and going to these really adorable cartoon character covers, because I've actually been wanting to buy her physical books because they're just too cute to pass up. On April 23rd, we are getting a new book from our queen, Emily Henry. It's Funny Story. And I remember when she was dropping this announcement and she did like it was like nail polish, and then she did flowers, and she did like the yellow Crocs. And I'm so excited because I'm a Croc girly, not even gonna lie. And on the cover, he's wearing yellow Crocs. It just makes me so excited. Daphne always loved the way her fiance Peter told their story. How they met on a blustery day, fell in love over an errant hat, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He really was good at telling it, right up until the moment he realized he's actually in love with his childhood best friend Petra, which is how Daphne begins her new story. Stranded in beautiful Wanning Bay, Michigan, without friends or family, but with a dream job as a children's librarian that barely pays the bills, and proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles Nowak. Scruffy and chaotic, with a penchant for taking solace in the sounds of heartbreak love ballads, Miles is exactly the opposite of practical, buttoned-up Daphne, whose coworkers know so little about her they have a running bet that she's either FBI or in witness protection. The roommates mainly avoid one another until one day, while drowning their sorrows, they form a tenuous friendship and a plan. If said plan also involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their summer adventures together, well, who could blame them? But it's all just for show, of course, because there's no way Daphne would actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, right? That's so much fun. I just love that he's gonna be like the disaster one after the breakup, and she's gonna be like super put together and like, what? And I like the little like wordplay, like her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex. That's adorable. But again, the cover is so cute and I'm so excited. I always love Emily Henry's writing. It's just fantastic. Coming out on June 11th, we have the ROM Commerce by Catherine Center. I love Catherine Center. I read both The Bodyguard and Hello Stranger by her, and they were both very adorable, very quirky little romances. I love them. She always does really cute, like, interesting tropes, I guess. So like The Bodyguard, the woman was the bodyguard, so we had a little twist there. And then in Hello Stranger, it was just a very unique situation with a painter that had face blindness, so it was just very unique in that. So I like that all her romances have like their own unique premises, I guess. It says, she's rewriting his love story, but can she rewrite her own? Emma Wheeler desperately longs to be a screenwriter. She spent her life studying, obsessing over, and writing romantic comedies. Good ones. That win contests. But she's also been the sole caretaker for her kind-hearted dad who needs full-time care. Now, when she gets a chance to rewrite a script for famous screenwriter Charlie Yates, her personal writing god, it's a break too big to pass up. Emma's younger sister steps in for caretaking duties, and Emma moves to LA for 6 weeks for the writing gig of a lifetime. But what is it they say? Don't meet your heroes? Charlie Yates doesn't want to write with anyone, much less a failed nobody screenwriter. Worse, the romantic comedy he's written is so terrible it might actually bring on the apocalypse. Plus, he doesn't even care about the script. It's just a means to get a different one greenlit. Oh, and he thinks love is an emotional Ponzi scheme. But Emma's not going down without a fight. She will stand up for herself and for rom-coms and for love itself. She will convince him that love stories matter, even if she has to kiss him senseless to do it. But what if that kiss is accidentally amazing? What if real life turns out to be so much more real than fiction? What if the love story they're writing breaks all Emma's rules and comes true? So again, it sounds like a grumpy sunshine kind of book, and I like that in this they're actually like writing a rom-com. I just think it's very adorable, and I've never read anything with screenwriters, so that's very interesting. Again, the cover is just so stinking cute. On June 11th, we also have Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, my absolute queen, my goddess. I love everything she writes. It says, Rue Sievert might not have it all, but she has enough. A few friends she can always count on, the financial stability she yearned for as a kid, a successful career as a biotech engineer at Klein, one of the most promising startups in the field of food science. Oh, that's fun, it's food science. Her world is stable, pleasant, and hard-fought, until a hostile takeover and its offensively attractive frontman threatens to bring it all crumbling down. Eli Kilgore and his business partners want Klein, period. Eli has his own reasons for pushing this deal through, and he's a man who gets what he wants. With one burning exception, Rue, the woman he can't stop thinking about, the woman who's off limits to him. Torn between loyalty and an undeniable attraction, Rue and Eli throw caution out the lab and the boardroom windows. Their affair is secret, no strings attached, and has a built-in deadline, the day one of their companies will prevail. But the heart is risky business, one that plays for keeps. I love anything she writes. I love that it is another science workplace romance, and that we're getting food science, which is really interesting. And again, this cover is just adorable, and I always love her female main characters and male main characters. They're just so good. And then we have Daydream by Hannah Grace, and that is number 3 in the Maple Hill series. So the first one is Icebreaker, and the second one is Wildfire. I have Wildfire, I have not read it, and I have not read Icebreaker, which I have to because hockey romance, I'm loving it right now, so I definitely will be reading that. And I know these are all interconnected with the same group of characters, so I'm very excited for that. It says, when his procrastination lands him in a difficult class with his least favorite professor, Henry Turner knows he's going to have to work extra hard to survive his junior year of college. And now, with his new title of captain of the hockey team, which he didn't even want, Henry absolutely cannot fail. Enter Hallie Jacobs, a fellow junior who finds herself befriended by Henry when he accidentally crashes her book club. Hallie may not have the romantic pursuits of her favorite fictional leads, but she's an academic superstar, and as soon as she hears about Henry's problems with his class reading material, she offers to help. Too bad being a private tutor isn't exactly ideal, given her own studies, job, book club, and the novel she's trying to write. But new experiences are the key to beating her writer's block, and Henry's promising to be the one to give them to her. They just need to stick to their rulebook. Oh, and not fall in love. This sounds so cute. I'm excited that she's going to be a bookworm and academic, because that's kind of who I am. I'm very into learning and I'm very into reading, obviously. And the cover's so cute again. Her little dress is adorable and she's holding books, and I love that he accidentally crashes her book club. Oh, I'm so excited. So those are all of my 15 / possibly 16 I talked about most anticipated releases from March 15th, which is around now, to about the middle / end of June. I'm sure there are some that I'm missing, but those are the ones that I'm really excited about. Again, a lot of them are romances. There are some fantasy romances in there, and one thriller, and I think maybe some regular fantasy, but I'm very excited for those. If you're still watching, thank you, and please leave a comment of some books that you are anticipating for the spring / summer. And as always, thank you for watching. If you liked my videos, think about subscribing and sticking around, and thank you as always. Bye!